Hi, I'm Yanni for Hola Prime, and today I'm joined by J Mark, one of Hola Prime's successful traders. He just recently got his first payout. J Mark, thanks for joining. Thanks for taking the time to be here with me today.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations on your payout. Is that your very first payout with any prop firm, or have you had some payouts before?
I had some payouts bigger than that before, of course.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, when did you start trading for the first time?
Traded in 2002, so
2002.
23 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Started with Forex.
Wow, okay. And, have you been trading consistently since then, or has it been like a on and off type of journey?
I'm actually a civil engineer, so I focus on my career.
Oh,
And
okay.
because of the pandemic, I restarted my excitement with trading again because there's nothing to do during the pandemic. So I was looking for something to do and lost a lot of money
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
that.
Well, that's most traders' story, right?
Yeah, you gotta lose money to make money at the
Well,
start.
yeah.
That's how you learn.
So on your journey, you just mentioned you've lost a lot of money, and yeah, you're absolutely right. You need to like lose money to make money. But on your journey, because you just mentioned you've been trading since early 2000, 2002. So, was there any particular point in your journey where things started to turn around? Like, what was that moment where you felt like, okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this now? Was it a particular strategy? Was it just maybe discipline, or did you feel it had something to do with your trading psychology? What was it that you feel was the turning point for you in your trading?
Actually, though, I watched a lot of YouTube videos and I've learned a lot about trading psychology and also I've learned risk management. So that really I did. Now I knew that it's important. So I started losing small and gaining big,
Mm.
and I keep learning new strategies, and yeah, so that's how I learn.
Okay. Yeah, so YouTube, that's interesting. The risk management is very important. Do you feel like when you started to trade smaller, um, because you just mentioned about risk management, do you feel that at the same time when you trade smaller, that a lot of the fear and all the other emotions, the negative emotions that typically causes you to overtrade, etc., starts to really disappear when you trade smaller because you feel like you're more in control. Does that make sense? Is that what you found when you once you started to implement more stricter risk management?
Actually, I've learned that in order to be successful in trading, you need to think like a robot. Like you have to have no emotions at all and just let it go. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. It's all about probabilities and risk management. So I'm just sticking to my 1 to 2 R. And, if I lose 1 R, good. If I win 2 R, that's good as well. So yeah, just let it let it go without any more emotions.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely the right way to do it. Like that's definitely one thing that a lot of traders struggle with is to understand that this is a game of probabilities. To try and get 100% success rate or even a very high success rate, it's not really the name of the game. It's all about understanding your strategy, making sure you have proper risk management in place, and then just wait for the setup. And as you just rightfully said, like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You just wait patiently for the next setup. So yeah, I fully agree with you on that one. In terms of the different markets you trade, which markets do you typically focus on?
I trade gold, and I also trade euro, and I trade Japanese yen, and sometimes Australian dollars. But lately, I've been doing a lot of futures, NQ, Nasdaq futures, gold futures. Yeah, and it seems like futures data is more reliable.
Yeah.
I get less.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, yeah, the spreads are very good.
Yes. Do you trade the few? Well, do you trade it? Do you trade on a CFD platform? Do you like you know
Meta,
uh
Meta, trade MetaTrader 5 and also trading with TradingView, Trade of 8,
That's
and sometimes yeah,
yeah, that's
Ninja
pretty.
Trader.
Ninja Trader, yeah, that's definitely a futures platform. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's very interesting you mentioned that because I found it to be I fully agree with you. The data you get from futures is just far more accurate, and you can get in, and the price that you get in at is the price you get. It's very different to, say, for example, Forex, where the levels are not really respected, or you can wait for a level and it just kind of misses it, or
There's
it's
a lot of slippage.
yeah. So it's a very different. So it's interesting. So you don't really trade Forex then?
I trade MetaTrader 5.
Yeah.
I
But
tr-
that's sorry, but you don't really trade Forex, right?
Mainly gold and euro.
Mainly gold and euro. Yeah. Yeah. So the gold and the euro. Yeah. Personally, I only trade the pound US dollar. That's the only Forex pair I'll trade. I don't really trade anything else in Forex, but I also like the Nasdaq. I'll look at things like Bitcoin and um, gold. Yeah, but on the Nasdaq, I trade futures, so it's more smaller time frame. So that was going to be my next question. So the when you trade on these different markets, like what time frame do you usually focus on? Which time frames do you typically focus on?
Because I'm in Australia, so I trade during the Australian daytime with gold and euro. And then at nighttime I trade my futures with Nasdaq.
Okay. So do you trade the because you're in a very awkward time zone in Australia. So the New York session is like, isn't that like 2 o'clock in the morning or something for you? It's like really late.
It starts at 11 p.m. here.
11 p.m. Yeah, that's quite late, isn't it? And do you trade like just the first hour and a half, or what? How do you
Yeah, I
typically
just
plan your
trade the first 2 hours
just the first 2 hours?
in
Okay.
that until 1 a.m.
Okay. All right, that's interesting. And how about the typical time frames that you focus on? In other words, like when you look at the chart, do you like to identify opportunities on the daily or the 4 hour chart, the 1 hour chart? Like where do you go to in terms of those time frames to identify your opportunities?
Well, I started with a 4 hour just to look at the trend, and then I just go with the trend and whatever. So I'm using moving averages. So if the moving averages cross and it's according to my trend, then that's how I trade. And then I just set and forget. I use a trade management tool like Dane Trades. Shout out. And yeah,
Okay. So, okay, 4 hours, that's a very solid time frame. I also like the 4 hour time frame. So, yeah, I think we do a lot of things very similarly. But you mentioned the moving averages. So, you basically, would you say it's fair to say you're a trend follower? You basically look for a trend and then try to just trade in the same direction, or is there something? Are there other things that you look at? For example, I don't know, support resistance levels, or anything else, or are you just purely looking at the trend?
yeah, I'm just using a trend. And if my moving averages crossed each other, Then that's how I enter.
Oh,
And
okay.
just go 1 to 2, just trade once every day with Hola and other firms, and then that's it.
That's pretty simple. No, you're doing it right. It is all about keeping it simple. So, if you don't mind me asking, like which moving averages do you like to look at?
Just a simple moving averages. So I use 13, 111, and 240.
Oh, okay. Those are really unique numbers. It's not the 20 and the 50 or the 50 and the 100. You've got your own um, unique settings. How did you come across those
Yes.
settings? Is it just backtesting or just experience?
Yeah, back testing. And I use optimization, and also if those numbers change over time, depends on the 3 month winning rate. So if it starts to lose, then I try to look for my 3 moving average combination, and then that's how I trade. I just look for another 3 number combination, and then because the moving averages, they only last a couple, most I get is 1 year of success, and then it doesn't work anymore, just gives me losses and losses, and then I find my 3 number moving averages again, and then when it works, then I stick to it until it fails me. So that's how
That's it.
I need to adapt to the market conditions. They always change,
Yeah.
2000 different moving averages in year 2000 is doesn't work anymore in 2025.
Yes, that's so true. It's really, really important to adjust to the market conditions, just like you said. Because I think the moving average crosses, as you just mentioned, you're probably having a very tough time trading that when the market is ranging, right? So it looks like
Mm.
it looks like it's gonna trend, and then you just bounce back into the range. And it looks like it wants to trend, and then it bounced back, and then you find, okay, I'm in a range. And the range is only identified, especially on the 4-hour time frame, after you've been in the range for some time, right? That's when you recognize you in a range. So that's probably the only drawdown about a trend following system. But do you have like a specific? Because I know you pretty good with your risk management and so on. But do you have like a maximum loss kind of rule, or how do you know? Okay, the market is not playing ball yet. My strategy is not working, and then you back off. Like, do you have a specific approach for that, or do you just kind of just trade smaller, or how do you approach that?
No, just let it go. Whatever I trade in the challenges is the same thing I trade with funded. So if it failed me on the challenges, then I buy again a new challenge, and I try a different moving average combination, and then that's it. I just follow the trend. 'Cause the trend is your friend, and sometimes it's just weird. It wicks up and down and hits your stop loss. So that sucks. But you have to learn the art,
Yeah.
not giving a f anymore.
Yeah,
Don't give an F. How you earn money, more money.
yeah, that's so true. I mean, but what do you think of gold's rally since the beginning of the year? That was insane. Did you trade it? Did you trade it
Yeah,
up? It was just going in one direction. There was
it's
a
go-
few pullbacks, but mainly just to the upside.
yeah. If you keep buying and buying, you could have won. So I made a lot of money during that run. Just I just keep buying and buying. If I sell, that's how I lose. So
Yeah, that's a very good example of trading against the trend, right?
the
Yeah,
back is crazy too.
The pullback is crazy. I don't know, like the gold at the moment. I see the last the 4 days has just been raging to the side. We've had a. It looks like it's topping out, and we're in a bit of a range. So this is probably the time that's a little bit more difficult to trade gold, with particularly with your strategy. So yeah, very very interesting. I was going to ask you, like how did you come across Hola Prime? Was it just an advert or a video, or how did you come across us?
Um, because I've got lots of Discord communities, and we always talk about prop firms and all that. And yeah, because in the YouTube they always advertise their trading communities. Because trading is very lonely, so having a community, just to brag when you win, it's really good for my mental health. So, and then they get that, this new up and coming prop firm is paying, and they're very nice customer support, and they're not very, they don't have enough red flags, and the only red flag is they're new. So yeah, so I tried it 20 with 25,000, and mm, maybe I'll max it later. So just I'm just sick of prop firms scamming me.
Yeah.
Just wanted to try them out first before the spreads and everything, payouts. You'll know on the first payout if they're scamming you or not. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So, what is your experience? Because you passed your challenge really quickly. I think it was 2 days or something.
Yeah, just because I'm using 2% risk,
Yeah. So you passed it pretty
and I
quickly.
was lucky.
Oh,
I
you
could
know,
pass
there's
six
nothing. There's
challenge at 60 days.
nothing wrong with a bit of luck in trading. You need some luck in trading. Definitely plays a role. All right, so 2 days, that was really good. And then you got your payout. Did you get your payout pretty quickly, or what was your experience like there?
An hour,
An hour.
just an hour. It's like that, It's
Okay.
very fast. I'm very impressed.
And how would you compare that to other prop firms? Would you say that the payout is definitely ranking amongst the, right at the top compared to the others in terms of payouts?
Yeah, I think this is the fastest I've got with all the prop firms. Some prop firms will just give a little bit more time. They said they will check, and then all of a sudden they will disqualify you and then give you a bullshit excuse about copy trading or VPS or whatever. Any excuse that they can give you not to pay you out. So that's a red flag already. So that's why I tried it with 25,000 first, and then before I go to the big ones. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely not the first time I've heard that, or experienced for that matter. Getting really good payouts and then they deny you for just nonsense that was not disclosed up front. So no, I completely understand what you're saying there. I just want to go back to you mentioned you've been trading since 2002, but then you stopped, and then you said you started to get back into it during the pandemic. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
So is that's when you really started to focus on your trading. So are we talking? Is it fair to say that you've really been trading for about 4 years, maybe 5 years, something along those lines?
Um, Serious trading probably without losing a lot of money. Maybe 2 years.
2 years.
And the first 3 years is losing a lot of money.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and what made like, why did you keep going? Because, most people quit. Most people quit. Is it that, well, I guess the reason why is because there's potential and maybe you felt like you were making some progress, or do you feel like being part of a community, like a Discord group, and when you see other traders are making it, they are getting payouts, and that kind of keeps you going? Or what was it that made you think, "No, I'm not going to give up, even though I've been struggling for some time. I'm just going to keep going."
Uh, Probably trading. makes me feel like it's a video game. It really excites me, and it's very fun and entertaining, but also it's also mentally challenging as well when you lose money. So and also I want to have money anywhere I go. I travel here, I can trade. I travel there, I can live in a remote island with Starlink. I can make money there. This skill can get me anywhere in the world. And I'm a salesman as well, and I'm just sick of people not buying stuff from me. And push up a button, I can. There's always liquidity. There's always buyers and sellers with trading. And I spent hours and days getting a sale in the real world, but in trading world, it's much easier to buy and sell. So it's much more liquid than. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's why I dabble in trading. And plus, I've got kids now. I've got the 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Oh,
No,
okay.
this is something that I want to I want to spend more time with them, because when I'm trading, I'm just trading 1 to 2 hours a day, and then that's it. I said and forget, and then I just don't give a f if they win or lose. So that's how I work. It's easier, and then I can spend time more with them, and I'm earning good money as well. Yeah, I just signed my accountant's tax return. I'm paying a lot of money because of trading.
Because you make so much. Well, that's a good problem. That's a good.
Which it's like not problem, but it also.
It still sucks. It still sucks to give that money away to the tax man. Oh, I know about that. Yeah, okay. So I that was actually you mentioned you trade only for like an hour or 2 hours a day. So that was actually something I wanted to ask you. Is like how many trades do you typically place a day? And the other question was, do you trade every day?
That's my problem. I trade every day, so I shouldn't have trade every day, especially on FOMC, especially on CPI and NFP days. But that's one of my challenges. I need to overcome over trading. I could have made more money if I stayed away in the. Now I'm staying away every Monday. I'm staying away
That's
every
a
Monday.
Yeah, that's a good move. That's a good move. No, but you're right. Like, so there are three news events for me, and it'd be interesting to get your take on this. Is FOMC, like you mentioned. The second one is core CPI, and then NFP as well, non-farm payrolls, that first Friday of every month.
Yeah.
Those are the three
There's a
big
new
ones.
one. Trump talks. There's another one.
Yeah. Yeah, those
Trump
tweets,
tweets.
those unexpected tweets. Yes, I think we're going to have to deal with that for some time to come. But that's definitely, especially on the Nasdaq. Have you seen like that $5 trillion day? That's when the announcement came out that the tariffs were going to be paused for 90 days. Big move
Yeah,
to the other
uh,
side. Yeah.
it was just bounce down, and then Trump tweets, it's a great day to buy, and then everything went up, out sideways.
Yeah, I think we do. We're just waiting for the next tweet, right? We just need to wait for the next tweet. But that's very much that's more like it affects I think the stock market and the indices like the Nasdaq more compared to other markets in general. But it is you're absolutely
Mm.
right. You need to include that now. It's not just those news events. Yeah. All right. So it sounds like you are doing pretty well, but at the same time, you still need to do a little bit of work, perhaps staying away from those high impact news events days. Do you feel like this?
Yeah, I'm investing more in myself. Yeah, I'm investing more in myself, trading education and trading psychology, books, YouTube videos. So every day I just watch um all of them, all. And JCap, that's one of my uh, idols. 2.5 million in this year. It's crazy. I want to be like him someday.
that's incredible. That's a big return. Are you familiar with the work of Mark Douglas? Mark Douglas, the
Yeah, his book is very famous.
yeah, but he's got like these webinars on or seminars really. It was back in the day. So they're quite old, but they're on YouTube. Very, very good. It's really good in terms of when it comes to trading psychology. Okay, so what about fundamentals? Do you focus on fundamentals or not really? Like, fundamentals on the longer term, on the longer time frame. Is that something you follow, or is that not really part of your trading strategy?
I'm just a price action man.
Yeah, yeah, same, yeah, same. I believe the fundamentals. I suppose it depends on the time frame, like how long you want to keep trades open for. Then fundamentals is important, but fundamentals will play out on the chart. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, the chart will show the fundamentals anyway in the 4 hour and the 1 day chart. Sometimes I look at the 1 week and the 1 month chart as well. So the fundamentals is there.
Yeah. Okay, so if you had to start all over, J Mark, if you had to like start today, or you could go back in time, let me put it like that. If you could go back in time, what would you change? Like knowing what you know now about trading, what would you do differently if you could go back a bit, to the pandemic times?
I'll probably manage less the trades and just let the trade manager do its thing and just because and also over trading and just not, stay away from Mondays and FOMCs and the day before FOMC, the day before NFP, the day before CPI, and trade after the CPI
Mm.
because that's where all the moves are anyway, the NFPs, and it's where I make the most of a lot of my money is after the big move as well. So yeah, and yeah, that's it. Just try not to manage it manually.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Just try not to
Yeah.
look at the charts after you trade.
Do you also feel like when these big news events come out that, like you just said, like the day before, it's almost kind of like the markets are waiting for the news event, so everything is a bit choppy,
It's just validating.
yeah, but the day after, it finds direction. The day after,
Yeah,
yeah,
actually, the Asian session is very good
yeah,
after the move.
yes. It was the same with the actual the tariff announcement. I'm not sure if you traded that. So the tariff announcement came out my local time pretty late, and your local time, I think it was part of the Asian session, so you'd definitely be awake for that. But it started to trend really nicely, um,
Yeah, true.
beautifully in just in one direction. So for me, it's very difficult to trade because I'm sleeping. I'm not. I don't like to stay up during the night. I used to do that many years ago. Not anymore. So if I miss a move overnight, then oh well, we'll see what the London session and the New York session.
There's always opportunity to trade.
Yeah,
There's always opportunity. If you miss a big move, there's always the next move. Not
yeah.
as big, but there's always
There's always opportunities, that's for sure. That's how you need to
there's
view it as well. Like if this FOMO or fear of missing out, just wait for the next opportunity. One opportunity is just one opportunity in an ocean of opportunities. There will always
yeah,
be the next setup. There will always be the next setup.
yeah.
Yeah.
Every
So
week, every Thursday, there's always a big move on Thursdays and Wednesdays, Thursdays. So just swap that
yeah.
every week. So there's always opportunity.
So going forward now, J Mark, like what would you like to see or how I think we already mentioned about the news events and so on. Um, but what else do you feel you need to really improve on to go to that next level as a trader?
I need to be fearless, probably. It's just there's so much fear in me, especially when I'm trading NASDAQ. So yeah. because I need to have to master the art of letting go and just let the trade go to the direction to the target without
Mhm.
um over managing it. Sometimes that's my problem, I over manage things just thinking that I might lose this challenge and all that. So yeah, that's still something I need to work on with futures.
Yeah, it kind of messes with your mind. But do you also trade smaller time frames on futures, like on the Nasdaq, the 1 minute,
30
the
seconds.
30 seconds? Wow.
Sometimes I got my entry in my 15 second.
Wow.
So great.
Yep. Yeah, you have a lot of you have nerves of steel. 15 seconds. Wow. Yeah, I know there are quite a lot of traders focusing on the 30-second. I haven't heard of the 15-second, but or people trading it. But if that works, it works. I like to go for the 1 minute. I like just the 1 minute. That's already small.
Yeah, what
That's all.
seconds
Yeah.
and 1 minute is okay.
Yeah. Do you ever go to longer time frames? Maybe like the 2 minute or the 5 minute, or not really?
Yeah, I do.
And during that, with this tariff thing, um, did you also find it incredibly difficult to trade because the ATR, the size of the candles was so big? It was very, very
I
difficult to
know,
trade.
right?
Yeah.
One candle is 100 points. It's like crazy. 100 candle.
Yeah.
It used to
Like,
be like 4 hour candle.
yes. Yes, exactly. Like a 1 minute candle was, yeah, like you said, it was like the size of a 4 hour candle. It was just insane. You can't trade it. You just can't trade it.
No,
I
it's
mean,
hard.
it's very hard. So I stayed out for that period, but it's definitely back. It's definitely back into a trading range now. So, but yeah. All right. So I just want to close this off. I think we have a very good understanding of how you trade. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us here today, J Mark. And congratulations again on your first payout. May that be the first payout of many payouts to follow with Hola Prime. And yeah, again, thanks for sharing everything you did share with us today. And yeah, all the best with your trading.
Yeah, I'm actually a member of a seven-figure funded already.
Oh
So
wow,
yeah, hopefully hold a prime.
make
Yeah.
that part. Yeah, for sure. Well, all the best with that, my friend. May your success in trading continue, and those little improvements on staying away from news events, etc. I hope you overcome those minor little challenges. But you definitely, well, you're a successful trader. Not many people can say they had a payout. So, congratulations again, and I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be interviewed.
You're welcome. Thanks, mate. All right. Cheers.
Thanks.
Bye bye. Bye.
Bye.